This is my city, my home. It might be your city, or like yours, where law-abiding citizens go about their business of working and providing good homes for their loved ones, and where destructive forces of crime and evil are also at work. In one way or another, we're all enmeshed by crime. We're either on the side of law and order or against it. We're all in the battle between good and evil.
Well, Mr. Jameson, that's lunch on you for the next week.
Okay, Craig. But what burns me is the box of cigars for Inspector Burke. Besides, the wind was blowing strong on the roof. I couldn't hit the side of a barn.
3 straight sets. 6 love, 6 love.
Yeah, I know. 6 love.
Oh, is this the missing lapidarist, Walt?
Yeah, name's Parker. Curtis Parker.
Lost in Mexico on an expedition for precious stones, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. They think he's dead. Say, that reminds me. I'm supposed to phone his partner, Noel Young, for an interview.
I understand they brought back quite a collection.
So they say.
Parker Young Lapidaries.
Well, this is Jameson, reporter on the Evening Star. I'd like to talk with Mr. Young.
There's a reporter on the phone for you, Noel.
Okay. I'll never get this job finished. Hello.
Well, I'd like to do a story on your expedition.
Oh, very well. In about 2 hours. Goodbye. I don't like this a bit, Trudy.
I don't either. It's too bad about Curtis. But you couldn't help what happened.
Another one?
No, thanks. I have plenty of time now, Craig. Come on, the hamburgers are on me.
Oh, no, Walt. A full-course lunch.
Curtis Parker. But it can't be. He's supposed to be dead.
Won't you sit down?
Mr. Kennedy, my partner, Noel Young, thought I was dead when he abandoned me in the wilds of Mexico, and...
Excuse me, Mr. Parker.
Certainly.
Kennedy speaking. Oh, hello, Inspector.
Have you won those cigars for me yet? Good. I'm on my last one.
I'd suggest that you come over and get them.
Uh-oh, I get it. Something's up, eh, Kennedy? I'll be right over.
Now, Mr. Parker, you were telling me your partner abandoned you in Mexico. What's it all about?
Attempted murder, Mr. Kennedy.
Then it's a matter for the police.
I don't want to go to the police. Not yet.
Why not?
Because I want you as a witness when I face Young with the truth.
What is the truth?
Several months ago, an old codger by the name of Harper came to our shop. He had a map showing where precious stones were buried in Mexico. He was too old to go there himself and needed the money, so we gave him $500 for the map. I know it sounds like the old routine of suckers buying a worthless map, but it didn't turn out that way, as you very well know.
What happened on the expedition?
Well, by the time we found the buried stones, we'd been through a terrific sandstorm. We lost all of our pack animals and bearers. Young and I were stranded, completely alone and out of water and food. Well, Noel, looks like the sandstorm has passed.
Yeah?
Have any idea which direction we take to get out of here?
No, we'll never make it anyway. I've carried you as far as I can. We're out of food and water, and besides, your heart won't take it anymore.
Well, at least we found these. Rubies, opals, turquoise, and jade. My half of the treasure. What are you thinking about, Noel?
Trudy. You want to marry her, don't you? You think you can win her away from me?
No. I like Trudy, but that's all.
You're lying, Curtis. Trudy told me you tried to make love to her.
That's not true.
Want to know what else I'm thinking? I'm thinking about our agreement.
What about it?
We agreed to share the stones equally. But if one of the partners fails to return alive, the other gets the whole treasure.
You're going to leave me out here to die.
Why not? I've never liked you. It's a perfect setup, Curtis. I can say you wandered away from the party and got lost.
And when I regained consciousness, I found myself completely alone and my stones gone.
How did you get back to the States?
I must have walked for 2 days and nights. I stumbled onto a spring of fresh water, and some natives found me and brought me out the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm. And now you're here to claim your share of the stones and accuse Mr. Young of trying to kill you?
Yes,
It'll be a difficult charge to prove against him.
I realize that.
How'd you happen to come to Mr. Kennedy?
Rex Gordon, who witnessed the agreement between Young and myself, told me to see Mr. Kennedy.
Is this Rex Gordon a friend of yours?
Yes, an intimate friend of both of us.
Have you contacted Young since your return?
Not yet.
I'd suggest that you call him.
Call him? Well, under the circumstances, I hardly think it's advisable, Mr. Kennedy.
But I do. Find out what he has to say.
All right.
No, Young speaking. Trudy, it's Curtis. He's alive. Where are you, Curtis?
Surprised to hear from me, aren't you, Noel?
Why, yes. What's that? Well, of course I'm glad you're alive. Well, what does one say to a dead man?
Let me talk to him. Hello, Curtis. You better come right over.
Oh, so you and Noel want to talk. You'll hear from me.
I don't understand, Curtis. What? Hello? Hello? He said that you tried to kill him, and that you took his share of the stones.
I'm going over to see Rex Gordon. Here's his phone number.
Thank you.
Well, everything's in your hands, Mr. Kennedy. Goodbye, Mr. Jameson.
Bye. Craig, this is front page stuff, if I ever heard it.
Yes, Walt.
Open up, Kennedy. And a certain peculiar character better have a box of cigars handy. How about the cigars, Nosy?
Don't be so greedy, Inspector.
What's up?
Plenty. The biggest story of the year. Curtis Parker, the missing lapidarist, is alive.
You know, Rex, when our little deal is over, I'm going to have a penthouse just like this one, too.
Now tell me, how did things go?
Pretty good. But I still don't think it was a smart thing to bring that fella Kennedy into it.
Sure it was. The mere fact that you went to a criminologist to trap Noel Young makes our story 50% believable to begin with. We don't have a thing to worry about.
I still have to put it over on Young and Trudy Miller.
We won't have any trouble convincing them that you're Curtis Parker. When we do, we're all set. Don't forget, you're his twin brother.
Now, Parker's story is fantastic, Inspector. A man who had recently returned from the Mexican wilds would be sun and windburned almost to a crisp.
Yeah, and he wasn't.
I seem to be running a little behind, Mr. Kennedy. Would you mind bringing me up to date, mentally?
I suggest we go over to the lapidary shop and find out just how dead Curtis Parker is.
Why, this charge of yours is ridiculous, Curtis.
Is it, Noel?
Of course it is. I know he wouldn't do a thing like that.
You'd say that, now that you're going to marry him.
None of that.
We'd like to hear your side of the story, Mr. Young.
Well, as Curtis told you, we divided the stones equally.
just as you see them in these 2 trays. Curtis and I made our way alone for 3 days.
Thanks, Noel. I couldn't have gotten this far without your help.
Forget it. It's a good thing the fever didn't hit me, too.
You could have gotten out if it hadn't been for me.
Here, take a few sips.
How about you?
I can hold on. Go ahead, drink. There's a settlement about 5 miles the other side of those hills. We're going to try and make it.
You might make it if you don't haul me.
Oh, go on. Keep it. I'll come back for you. You think you'll be all right alone?
Sure, Noel. Look, try to get out yourself. Forget me.
Now, you just take it easy. I'll be back for you.
No. Here. Take my share of the stones with you. Go on, take them.
I did find the settlement and started back to get Curtis. But in the meantime, another sandstorm had blown up. And when I got there with the rescuers, why, all we could find was the canteen. We searched the area for hours.
You're lying.
I believe Noel's story.
Mr. Gordon, you've known these gentlemen for a long time. You must have a suggestion.
I'd say this whole thing is unfortunate, and it would be useless for Noel and Curtis to go to court.
What do you think, Inspector?
Well, the DA wouldn't be happy with this one, Kennedy. As you said yourself, it amounts to one man's word against the other.
The sensible thing to do would be a division of the stones between the partners, and,
What about the matter of trying to kill me?
It'll have to be proven, Mr. Parker.
I suppose you're right. I might not be able to make it stick. But we own this business together, and I'm not going to walk out and leave it.
I'll give you a fair price for your interest.
$75,000?
It's unfair, Noel. Why, it's outrageous.
Just the same, that's the price.
All right, I'll pay it.
Well, so much for me. Been nice knowing all of you people. Come on, Newsy.
Right. Coming, Craig?
Well, not yet, Walt. I'll meet you at the lab in about an hour.
Okay.
Where are you going, Noel?
To my lawyer. I'll have him start the papers to buy out Curtis. Trudy will give you your share of the stones.
Thanks.
I'm sorry about this, Trudy.
Thank you, Rex. This is your half of the stones.
I can soon tell.
A beautiful collection of gems.
They certainly are. Parker Young Lapidaries.
I want to talk to Mr. Parker, please.
It's for you, Curtis. A woman.
Me? Who knows I'm here?
News gets around fast. You'd better talk to her.
Hello? Who is this?
Really, dear, you surprise me. This is Bettie. Congratulations on your return from the dead.
Oh, thanks. Sure. I'm glad to hear your voice, Betty.
Oh, why didn't you contact me then?
I'm sorry. I intended to, but, look, I'm pretty busy right now. Where can I get in touch with you?
Did you lose your memory? Quit stalling. If you know what's good for you, you'll meet me right away.
Don't be impatient, Betty. Give me a number where I can call you.
Write it down.
I'll call you. By the way, how did you know I was here?
I read the Evening Star. Your famous lover boy. Or maybe the publicity wasn't good for you.
Thanks. That's very funny. Goodbye. I think I'll have a look at those gems again. Turquoise. Really beautiful.
Yes, it is. Next to diamonds, they're the second hardest stones. Aren't they, Mr. Parker?
What? Oh, yes. And just as pretty, if you ask me.
Why, Curtis, you know turquoise isn't the second hardest stone.
Why, she's right, Mr. Parker.
Oh, sure. I must have been thinking of something else.
We can understand your mistake, Curtis, after what you've been through.
Here's a very fine ruby.
Yes, isn't it? You know, at one time I was mildly interested in this sort of work.
Like it?
Oh, very much.
Keep it. A present from me.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it. I'll buy it from you, though.
Forget it, Mr. Kennedy. A little token of my appreciation.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Betty. Dunbarton, 50107. It's funny. In all the years I knew Curtis, he never mentioned her. I wonder why.
Look, that little gal wasn't kidding. She had something on Curtis. You know, she could ruin this whole deal.
Well, if you're worried, why don't you call her and make an appointment?
No, I don't remember Curtis ever having a girlfriend, do you?
I know. Do you know how he was? At times I thought he might be the proverbial woman hater.
I doubt that.
Why?
After you left, he had a telephone call from a woman. He acted so strangely when he spoke to her.
In what way?
Well, judging from his conversation, she seemed to know him very well. But Curtis was only pretending to know her. He took her phone number and promised to call her back.
Well, it's probably some romantic interest he's kept from us. Did you hear her name?
Yes, he called her Betty.
Betty?
Does that name mean something to you?
Did you happen to get the number he's supposed to call?
I watched him while he wrote it down. It's Dunbarton, 50107. What are you going to do, Noel?
I don't know yet, Trudy.
I'll get the Anderson order out.
Hello.
Come in, Curtis. Well, it took you long enough to get here.
Couldn't make it any sooner, Betty.
I'm surprised. You were always so punctual. Won't you sit down?
Cigarette?
Thank you.
Look, let's get on to cases.
Okay. When do I get the money?
In a hurry?
Well, I've waited long enough, haven't I?
I suppose so.
You promised to pay me $20,000 as soon as you got back from the expedition. Well, you brought back lots of stones. How about the cash?
20 grand. That's a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
Take less?
Getting a little careless about yourself, aren't you? You forgot the pocket handkerchief. I never saw you without one.
I guess I did forget it. About the money.
20,000. This is not bargain day.
Anything else on your mind?
Yes. You're 2,000 behind in your payments.
What if I refuse to pay it?
I'll go to the police.
What about?
You're not Curtis Parker.
I'm not? Well, who am I?
Oh, I don't know. But this I do know. You're a phony. And unless you cut me in for half of everything, I'll dial operator. And you know who I'll ask for? The police.
Pretty sure of yourself, huh?
Uh-huh. For several reasons. Curtis was never without the handkerchief. Mistake number one. And you were supposed to owe me only $1,500 in back payments, not $2,000. Curtis would know that. Well, do I get the money without any trouble?
I have to have some time.
Hello, Kennedy.
Hello, Inspector. I was just telling Walt, for a man who deals in gems, Parker knows very little about them.
What do you mean, Craig?
He said turquoise is the second hardest stone.
Well, isn't it?
No, stupid, a ruby is.
Even you know that.
Even me.
We'll get the report on the fingerprints?
This envelope is just packed with news for you, Kennedy. Don't show your bad manners all the time. And where are my cigars?
You'll get 'em, you'll get 'em.
Inspector, this is it. I knew we were right. Kennedy talking. Oh, just a moment. It's for you.
Is this it or is this it?
Yeah? What's that? We'll be right over. Keep the place covered.
She was strangled.
Let's hustle over to Rex Gordon's penthouse. Even Money says we'll find Parker there.
How did Parker get out of this building without your men seeing him?
I'll answer your question the first TV quiz show I'm on.
All the champion fools, you take the cake.
Stop squawking, will you? And let's get out of here.
Oh, no.
What'd you say?
We're not leaving. That's the surest way of tagging yourself for strangling her.
Look, chum, I got a record, remember? I wouldn't stand a chance.
Why, hello, Trudy.
Hello, Rex. Oh, Rex, I'm so glad I caught you.
Why? What is it, Trudy? You're upset. Here, have a drink.
No, thanks. I must talk to you.
But of course. What do you want to tell me?
It's about Noel and Curtis.
What about it?
You're their best friend. Tell me, did Curtis ever say anything to you about a woman named Bettie?
Betty? No, I don't remember him mentioning such a name. Why do you ask?
You were in the shop when this Bettie called for Curtis, and he acted so strangely.
Strangely. What are you trying to tell me?
I'm sure Curtis didn't know who he was speaking to. And yet, after thinking it over, I'm not too certain that the man that came to our shop is Curtis.
Hold it, Rex. She knows too much.
Take it easy, Tom.
Tom! I knew...
Shut up. There's going to be an accident. The newspapers will say that she fell off the roof.
Okay. Take her.
Kennedy, take care of Parker. Hold it, Gordon.
Okay, let's get it over with.
Don't get impatient. We're going to give you a nice playpen.
And here's a little playmate for him, Inspector.
Well, I see I'm on time.
You're just on time, hero.
The automatic elevator threw me.
Walt, go out on the roof and help Miss Miller, will you, please?
Yeah, sure.
Some hero.
Then the body of Curtis Parker was found.
Yes, Walt. The man who posed as Curtis Parker is really Tom Parker, a twin brother. He served 10 years for swindling, and now he'll pay the penalty for murdering Betty Alden.
Yeah, she was separated, but not divorced from Curtis. Noel Young thought they were divorced years ago.
And Curtis promised her $20,000 for a divorce.
He owed her alimony payments, too, didn't he?
Uh-huh. $1,500.
I'm not talking to you. Go on, enjoy my misery, Inspector.
And to cap it all, their mutual friend Rex Gordon instigated the attempted swindle.
Too bad Curtis didn't tell Gordon about Betty. If he had, Gordon wouldn't have tried the scheme.
Got it, Nosy?
Yes.
You know, this is the best free smoke I've ever had. Have a cigar, Jameson.
No, thanks.
I'm gonna take up tennis.
And so ends the case of the late corpse.